All right, we're back. We've got the stream up and running. There it is. I've got new internet. Everything is running faster already. So long story short, this last weekend we had the SCOP state convention, and we had some amazing people come over to the house. I had Matt Wright, Spike Cohen, Cajun, Bootleg, Brian Lambrick, and then all of their spouses. Brian's spouse wasn't there, but he had Jenny there with him. And so they all came over to the house, and I had the brilliant idea of moving my computer out to the living room and shooting, getting some content for the exclusives, Mudsketeers, that you can be a part of by going to anchor.fm/muddywaters/subscribe. And so when I brought the computer out there, I had to move the Wi-Fi and the router. And then when I rehooked it up, I didn't actually turn off everything. I didn't actually unplug everything. And so it can cause some network connectivity issues, and I think that was the only issue that we're running into. So I shut down and restarted up, moved to Florida, shut down everything, brought it back up, and I'm already getting roughly around 25% more speed on things, so we should be right as rain with that. I did not, speed just dropped again. It didn't drop to 0 this time, but I did not, however, cover with you guys that last conversation with the judge and the defenses and the otherwise. Thank you, Meg, for putting the group back up there. But let's go ahead and talk about this. I thought I froze in real life too. I potentially would do that. You guys are gonna have to bear with me. I'm eating. I'm gonna eat a bagel once we get through some of the stuff, because I'm starving. The judge came out and said, "Look, they're only asking for evidence 4 right now, so we're not even gonna touch evidence 5, which is that drone video." And then the bell rings. Hey, we need something. I'm gonna fight my computer here in a second, because apparently that didn't fix it. I didn't restart my computer. Pardon me for that. We'll get through this. We'll hunker through this, and then we'll get back up and running again. I'll probably have to reboot. But so long story short, the jury now wants to see evidence 5. They want to see everything. Evidence 5 and everything. And so now the judge I didn't do it to the computer itself. I left the computer on because I'm a schmuck. So I'll get back to that in a little bit. Maybe the YouTube is messing with it. I've turned off all the internet things, as many of them as I can. I haven't been chugging anything. OBS, leave that one on. Close out of that. Close out of that. There we go. All right, close out of as many internet things so we can keep this going as much as possible. So the jury asked for it. We want piece of evidence 5 and everything else. We want to be able to review whatever we want to do. Give us 5. So now the judge was in a predicament, because he didn't want to address that. He didn't want to address it unless it actually came up. Sorry, I'm trying to bounce it to where I'm only talking whenever I'm actually sending out signal. He didn't want to address it unless it came up. And then sure enough, it came up. The defense had a good reason for it to just be a mistrial nonetheless. Of look, they've already seen something that we were not given. Whether it is the fault of the prosecution or not, we were not given a piece of evidence. They should have never been shown this. And he's got some grounds on that. This is why it's causing the concern for the judge that it is. So now the judge had to come to the conclusion, do we give it to them or do we not give it to them? When does the bagel ASMR? It's not even like toasted well enough. Like it's very lightly toasted, so it's not even good ASMR. But so now the judge had to figure out, are we going to give the jury this? Or are we going to call this a mistrial? For the sanctity of evidence, you have to look at how much of an impact this video was. How much of an impact to the court case that this is. I'm really getting upset with this router internet thing. But so the concern there is, do we give evidence that is somewhat tainted that will today is oh no do we give tainted evidence that everyone has seen already and allow for it to continue to solidify or to change stances of people? Do we give the mistrial? Oh, John, you're in my life right now. That's got to be a hard decision for him. Tainted, yes. I would like to call it tainted rather than call it anything else, because if everything that everyone is saying in this case is absolutely true, so the defense or the prosecutors, when they received this information, they gave it and they had no intentions on compressing the file, but the way that they sent it compressed the file on its own, and they had no intention on sending it in such a way, despite them sending it in a way that is not the same way as everything else. And the defense not knowing that it was a compressed file until, this last week, we could just call it tainted because it wasn't intentional until proven otherwise. But it's not copacetic. It's not to what you would want in a courtroom, of the evidence being equal, of the evidence that the prosecutors has is the same as the evidence that the defense has, because now this is where this conflict came in. So it's definitely a difficult situation to parse through, and I do not envy this judge at all. Do you call the mistrial and cause for everything to come back again? As the defense said, with the higher clarity and the higher quality, they would have had a different defense in that circumstance. So there's a good reason why this is a concern. It was compromised evidence if it was tampered with. Yes, agreed. No, I'm not eating any peppers. If it was tampered with. But if it wasn't, if everything was happening the way that everything was designed to, and that's the only reason why they had a different structuring, it wouldn't be considered tampered. And so that's why I want to stay away from compromised in that sense. Now, if it was intentional, absolutely compromised. And also the tainted is good because of fruit of the tainted tree, which is a legal thing wherein basically if basically what fruit of the tainted tree is or I guess it's fruit of the poison tree. Basically if you have an illegal investigation, a legal search and seizure of property, and you find evidence within that to go after somebody, basically if they can prove that the stemming part of that investigation was fraudulent and was illegal, then the entire everything that they found thereafter would be illegal, and you would basically be able to walk free. Is there a difference between the footage between what the defense was shown? Yes, there is a difference in the clarity, and it can, by having different clarity, you can actually see different things, although it would be the same thing, just as unclear. I don't know that it's a hung jury yet. A hung jury would only be if in the end you can't come to a compromise or agree. So we will see how that plays out. I still have half a bagel left, but it's frustrating at best to go through this. And I think that really, when the prosecutor was trying to lay their case as to why not a mistrial, they completely flopped on all of that, and they failed to put a compelling case together. And I think even the judge himself kind of saw it that way again as well. Yeah, I've got to restart my computer. I'll probably let me just go ahead and restart the computer now. I'll hopefully that's going to fix it. So love you guys, appreciate you guys.